Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? You're at another episode 3, um, on That's What's Up show. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody has their medication. I got mine. Do you have yours ready? Uh, Tonight's guest will be Nectar of the Gods, nutrients. I'm talking about veg nutes today of their line. If we have time, get into their flowering. If not, there will be a part 2 of this video um, that I'll have for y'all. And we got a giveaway today for the whole lineup here, as we see. But you got the Limpus Up, you got the Zeus Juice, which is a growth enhancer. You got the Gaia Mana, which is a supplement. You got the Bloom Chaos, which is a foliar spray that is working really wonderful. You have a Soil Nutrient, which is Medusa's Magic, and you have the Herculean Liquid Bone Meal Harvest. If you need numbers on them, I can give you the numbers on them, and to give you pH up, we'll be giving out three kits of those tonight. And the reason why I said for members only, because it is like $30-something shipping, and it is some of the perks of being a member, that the company will be shipping it all free of charge. So that's why I said I took the names of the members. This will be a giveaway for y'all, but there'll be a whole lot of giveaways, so everybody will get to win something. Let me see who's all on the air. Nectar will be calling in around 7:10, 7:15. I told him around 7:15. I think he said 7:10. My boy from Mother Earth's dispensary is still making edibles for a store, so if he can get here in time, he'll be here in time, with a 1 gram dab challenge for me to do, and some other reviews. He wanted me to look out some medication, and he had a 12th man medible for us, and I had a nice package for him for coming on the show. So let's see who's all on tonight. We got Brian J is on. What's up, Rake? Oh, let me get my computer's acting up. There we go. Let me see. What's up, Rake? What's up, Cannaman 420? What's up, Super Smoker? What's up, Thumbs 420? Yeah, let's see who else is on. That's it for right now. We get a couple more coming in. I like to start on time. What's up, Dualude? I see you in the house. Tonight I'm smoking on some of my Auto Amnesia from Dude Where's My Bone. I wrote a fat ass joint of that. What's up, Cookies Mike? I see you. I'll be smoking on some of that, which is real wonderful. My fucking plan is frosty as a motherfucker, man. That shit is fucking ridiculous. I'm gonna post some pictures on it. They grew real good in the ideal 420. I might as well show y'all what waiting on him to call. And when he calls, I'll light up. Speaking of that, Scott is a good dude, man. He, I believe he's the owner or the botanist that does all the stuff for him. He was on monstergardens.com if you give him a look him up. And he's a wonderful dude, man, wonderful guy. We networked and reached up and did some things. Here we talking about this veg, nutes, flour, and believe it or not, they have some wonderful soil I've been using their product in since I said I want to go from top to bottom, which is a nice soil, actually. It's really, really wonderful. I really like it, and it's cheap, but there's no nutrient value to it. And it has like these little pebbles in it that is real good and sturdy for the plants, but it's washed in rainwater and lime water, I think. He'll be able to tell you about it, but you have to rinse it out every 2 to 3 weeks with liquid bone meal and water to get all the salt that builds up on it. But man, it's wonderful after that. All my plants are taking off. What's up, Crispy? I might as well pull her out real quick while we wait. Man, she is so. Man, let me see if I can get a picture. I don't think so. But it's not enough light over there. But all the leaves are curling in, frosting up. What I'll do is I'll take some pictures and I'll show you. But this was the one that I had that was real slow. When it grew out with two tops, like it was topped or something, but it wasn't. And I didn't think it would make it, but it actually grew up. As you see, the two stems that come out like that. I'm gonna leave a couple nice nugs on, see if I can get some seeds of it, because that was really weird. Maybe it'll do it again. These are all really nice, hard, frozen, super duper frosty buds. I wish I had me a camera to show you the trikes on them. They're all sticking up and they're cloudy. And I'm just waiting for a little more amber on it before I cut it down. Because I cut the other one down. The other one finished faster than this one. But yeah, that is auto amnesia. Excuse me. Let me see what's all up on here. Let's see. Ricky Max in the house. Yeah, I like this Dirty Bomb Water strand. It was real nice CBD, not too much of a head high, real body relaxing. It's really nice euphoric feeling. I got some more. I'm gonna grow some more out. I think I'm gonna try to make me a auto mix, something like a super soil type. I'm gonna try to come up with just a little my own tester, see if it worked better and the autos grow a little bit bigger. If not, oh well. Let me see while we're on this tip before he calls in, because right when he's done, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and do the raffle for the product you see up here. So I got Rake, I got Crispy, I got Dualoo, man, I got Green Clouds, I got CCC, I got Castle Grown, I got New England Grower, I got Mr. Burks, THC Hybrid, Amateur Grower, Grow Big Nugs, BJ 1 2 3 4 5 6 8. I got Nick 420 and I got Kevin the Temp Pro. That is my list of y'all that entered the win nutes on the show, and the company will be sending those to y'all. So Scott wanted me to do it live, not record it, because he has some if you have questions, he wanted to love to answer them. Maybe I can get him to do a grow, have him talk to GC, maybe get together and have something. I don't know, but I really like it, man. It's really it's not a lot of unnecessary mixing. Each stuff is different for a different part, and they give you a nice adjustment into your flower that is not too bad on your plant, and I grew an auto with it. It tasted really wonderfully clear. I flushed it, naturally, but man, it's just really nice, organic-y type taste. But hopefully we get out there, if you don't win, and try it, and that'll be that. So let me see if he's in about 3 minutes. For those of y'all who came in late, my guest today will be Scott of Nectar of Gods. My other guest might be late coming in, so if I step out for a second, he'll be coming in. Hope y'all have your questions ready once again. Let me see what else. Everybody, man, the social grow is a wonderful place to network. Um, Man, it's really wonderful. I've been hearing some questions on it, off YouTube or whether it is vice versa phone call. Some things, man, is just for serious growers. Like if you really want to go to a place where you can learn and want some help, there's a lot of people up there with so various growing years and techniques. You don't have to cater to one person's style. They have a lot of different styles of growing. It's a wonderful, friendly environment. We don't have a lot of BS on the site, none at all. And it's one place to network. If you're going through something, man, there's people here always to help you. It's real nice, man. We got all kind of features, movie nights, chat, and everything. There's all kind of stuff, something going on every day. There's a show every day of the week, so there's always something going on. There on the social world, man. So I encourage everybody, to go tell somebody about it. And it's just not about a fee. It's just that if you're on YouTube and you're not with a network, and you have a question, you type in that question, it's gonna show you a list of growers, but you look at one person video, excuse me, and you say that, oh, this will solve my plant, and you think that'll work for yours, but his environment is different from yours. His style is different. What he's using is different than what you're using. So you can try somebody else's style and mess your whole thing up, not knowing you're doing it wrong. See, and that's why when you ask a question here, you get all different types of various opinions, and aspects. It's just not about that either. Where we have nice, wonderful companies that is having us grow out their strands of genetics because they like what we got going on over here. It's just so much that you can really benefit from being a member, and I can understand if you're just if you have just a once a year grower, you grow outside, hey, that's still all right. Some of us don't grow all year round. Some of us don't grow inside. Some of us grow outdoor, so it's just a wonderful, exciting place, man, and we have a lot of fun. And before you even worry about if somebody says something bad about it, just take your trial membership, and I guarantee you'll like it. Okay, Brian, that'll be a question that'll be in there. He asked how much for the rest of the line to run a professional feed chart. Matter of fact, I might as well. Here we go now. So here's Scott off Nectar of Gods. Hello? Hey, what's up, Scott? You are on live on That's What's Up show with D. Stern.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. This is my buddy of mine, Scott, out there from Nectar of God Nutrient Company, and he's going to be up here talking about their wonderful line, wonderful product. So, Scott, before you get into it, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came upon this wonderful company with this wonderful line. I can put my stamp of approval on this real nice product. How did you become where you at today with the company?
Oh man, geez, long story. Kind of fell in love with organics and organic gardening 22 years ago. Kind of started getting my feet wet with a company called Down to Earth here in Eugene, Oregon. They put me out on the road as a salesperson and basically drove around the Pacific Northwest all the way down to the San Francisco Bay Area, just talking with store owners and farmers and hobbyists, and just kind of fell in love with the whole concept of organics and how they work. Then I kind of started evolving a little bit from the farming aspect, finding out that with organic ag kind of struggling as a whole, and then seeing the indoor industry kind of doing its thing, we kind of stepped in and decided to start working about, teaching people how to grow food year round, no matter what the conditions, wherever they are. We're just going to teach them how to do it indoor and outdoor, and then from there, we just kind of started moving through a few different companies throughout the industry and finding out the morals of some companies in this industry are kind of weak. I'm just it's not worth making money if you have to go against all your morals and your belief system. So, spent about 5 years working through some issues until I
So on your veg line, how would you say that people would really like this product, and what ingredients that you have in your product that would really be good for vegging, and why to use this product?
Well, the biggest difference between us and, well, we'll just start with other organic companies out there. We take a different approach. We know how chemistry works. We understand how the plant facilitates the uptake of nutrients. Instead of just reading a industry book about N, P, and K, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and just realizing that we can do so much more with the plant if we can deliver all of these elements through a calcium molecule. That's where my crazy chemist partner comes into play. Is he started learning that every single thing that is beneficial to this plant and the cell development of this plant is calcium driven. Our industry up until this point has been nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus driven. And what we've seen there is that we end up with, it could be really pretty, large, and big fruit, but for some reason it all kind of tastes the same. And what we discovered from that was all of our delivery system in indoor gardening up until this point has been nitrogen-driven nutrition. And we have taken the complete opposite approach, knowing that the plant can sustain life with nitrogen it fixes from the soil and the atmosphere. And what we do is promote its health and its ability to breathe in and out these molecules by increasing the uptake of calcium into the plant. With all of that being said, the other main difference between our nutrient line and most lines out there, especially in the organic world, is, most organic liquids out there are just simply kelp meal, bone meal, feather meal, blood meal, bat guano, you name it. They pump it all into a vat, and then they add a bunch of salt to stabilize it.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is that the instant nutrition your plant's getting is the salt. So whatever that stabilizer is, and usually it's calcium nitrate or potassium nitrate or magnesium nitrate, but nitrate, that's what you're feeding your plant as a pure nitrogen. All of that organic material that stands behind that has to go into the medium and has to be consumed by a microbe to be digested and then pooped out and delivered to the plant as a buffered protein or an enzyme or what have you. We've done that for you. What we do is we take all of those same meals and we throw them into our vats. Instead of stabilizing them with the sodium, we actually do all the digesting like a giant microbe. We break down all of the proteins, all of the enzymes, all of the organic acids, anything we're trying to extract from a certain element, and we digest it down into a plant-ready available source. So I think that's the biggest difference when people sit there and they kind of give a balk on, man, organics are slow, you just don't get the yield you do with a chemical base or mineral base. I'm not willing to try this new line because I need growth, I need bulk, and I need yield.
Yeah.
Well, we've never promoted the yield. We always promote the quality, but the funny thing is, the healthier the plant is, the more it can absorb of these chelated, broken down minerals and nutrients that we put in. We really lack in yield, but our quality is, it shows, it speaks for itself.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Have you finished? Have you tasted?
Yeah. Man, it's I have one auto that I've done. It tastes real good and smooth, and it's wonderful. The only regret, I hate to say, I didn't get to use the Bloom Chaos spray on it like I did my OG, and my OG is doing wonderful. That's my photo plant that's in there cooking.
Okay.
Not cooking, but in there growing. So, yeah, man, I am using your line. If people don't know or haven't seen from my videos, which is wonderful. But before you can even know about his nute line, did you know that you got some wonderful soil on your hands there? Scott.
Oh, you liking that?
Man, I'm loving it, and it's not even no super soil or come with a whole bunch of nutes. None of that. It's just what you said it was washed in. You said natural rainwater and lime water. You said.
Yeah. Basically, we just lay down all. Everybody has a clean washed cocoa fiber from India or Sri Lanka or wherever the hell they get it from. But what they don't realize is that those governments don't allow them to use fresh water, fresh drinking water, to put onto a byproduct that's a waste product in those countries to wash sodium off for us Americans. So all the cocoa that comes over has we know it, we're aware of it, and we're pretty much a no-salt company. We don't believe in it. So we actually tie up all the salt with Oregon rainwater. We collect off our roof system. We've got 100,000 square feet of rooftop that we collect rain from. We cistern it, and then as we lay our cocoa down, we turn on our irrigation pumps and lay down a calcium bicarbonate, not a dolomitic lime, but a bicarbonate calcium. And it's in a fine flour, and we lay that on top of the cocoa. So as the water reacts with the lime creates bonds with the salt, and then the salt ties up and becomes a big compound that can't adhere back to the cocoa fiber. So we start right there with washed cocoa, and it's U.S. washed right here in Oregon, right off the Pacific evaporation. So that's our first thing. The main thing we don't do is no bark, no compost from bark sources or forest byproducts. We don't use any of that because we know our plants that we grow indoors aren't conifers, they're not nursery stock, they're not for landscaping. They don't need that bark to interfere with the uptake of the nutrients. We find that bark in soil usually takes the energy of the microbe to start breaking down the cellulose of the bark tissue or the wood tissue instead of consuming those, really important elements like the calcium or the calcium phosphate from bone meal or the limestone that's left over, whatever other nutrients you may be seeing. So we basically start there with just clean cocoa and no bark. And the one thing that's in the potting soil you've gotten, which is we just call simply number 4, is a Alaskan humus, which is a pure Alaskan topsoil. It's rich in bacteria, fungi, and protozoa, so it's got the full gamut of living biota that lives in the natural earth. The cool thing with that is they create their own little ecosystem and keep each other in check by if bacteria starts to get a little overpopulated or the beneficial fungus gets overpopulated, the protozoa will go in there and kind of even out the playing field, keeping everybody in check so that there's no one overpopulation.
Yeah.
The other thing, we put in a lot of nutrients into it. The biggest difference, though, is we don't market our soil. You definitely have to hunt it down or request it through a store. It's, you saw the bags. That's our marketing. It's a big fat white bag.
Yeah,
but
they're wonderful. What kind of deal would you be able to give to a social grower? Now you said they come in what size they come in?
They're 1.5 cubic foot only.
Well, okay.
And the main thing is we only make 33 bags at a time. So within a full day, a 12-hour cycle or a 12-hour work shift, we're only pumping out 14 to 16 pallets a day now. And the reason for that is we need to have quality. We don't want to be a soil company. We do make a soil that is good for our product line, but we're not trying to get out there for the GH users or the Fox Farm users or house and garden guys, because what we do in our soil and the amount of living organisms we put in that soil, it's really designed for guys who want to be totally organic and see how a good, healthy, living soil reacts to a good, digested organic nutrient line. And I think it speaks for itself when you start putting the two together and you start to realize, okay, this, higher pH in the soil, there's no salt. Out of the bag, it should be 170 parts per million. A pH of about 6.7 to 7.2, and the reason for that is because we're trying to force more calcium up into that plant. So it works great.
Man, it's wonderful. And from what I learned, man, y'all two, the nute line and the soil go hand in hand together, man. I'm talking about, man, they really, really, really work good. How much? What's the ticket price on a bag?
Well, that's a loaded question. Depends on where you are in the country. Cause, down here in Eugene, there's so many people that make soil locally as far as like major producers. So they basically sell for $10 to $12 a bag. You go anywhere from Colorado east and $18 to $22 a bag, depending on how much they have to pay to ship it to themselves. So it really just boils down to the region you're in.
Oh, okay, cool. I have a question. From a buddy of mine. He said, do you have, the Kevin From is his name, he said, do you have anything for hydro?
There's a few products in the line that can definitely go hydro. call us. You're getting me. I like to do a base-to-base. I like to find out what they're using because most of the hydronutrients out there are salt-based. And when you put in an organic protein or an enzyme base, they don't want to mix well. So I kind of got to find out what they're using, whether they're doing a ebb and flow, run to waste, drain to waste, you name it. I like to just handle them one by one, but I encourage those gardeners like your buddy there to go on the website, and if you hit contact us, that's me. You're getting my cell phone. I will answer your questions individually on that level, just so you have the success that you want to see.
Yeah.
Because everyone's different. I had one guy in freaking Mississippi who called me and told me or emailed me and said Zeus juice was the worst product he's ever seen because he tried to mix it with house and garden in the 4th week of bloom, and it separated out, and now it's garbage. And I was like, wow, okay. That's not how that works. You can't put in Zeus juice because it's a pure humic and fulvic acid with aminos, and it will not blend with 14 salt-based nutrients. So, I like to know what they're doing just so I can help them be successful with it.
Yeah, I have another question for my boy Brian J. He said, how much for the rest of the nute line to run a professional feed chart? And what I got up here, I just got the basic, the one that's for the contest today. I got the basic Herculean Harvest, the Medusa Magic, the Bloom Chaos, the Gaia Mana, and the Zeus Juice, and the pH Up. That's the basic, the one I got up here. But he said how much for the professional feed chart? Basic, better yet, just matter of fact, what's the basic prices for your basic and on up, line packages wise?
What's the what?
Your prices from the basic, like you say on your feed chart. Here you have, you got simple, you got advanced, you got pro level, and your adjusters. Just their packages. What your packages consist of, and what's the prices on them?
Well, that's the hard part. Sorry, I'm really no help with this radio show whatsoever, but...
Oh, it's all right, man. We all good.
I've seen anywhere from, $500 to $600 around if you're buying gallons. If you're buying 2.5, anywhere from like $700 to $900. And it all comes down to which components do you use of the line.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's using the whole line. They find what... because every plant, they're like kids. You get 32 kids in a classroom and try to feed them all PB&J. 10 of them are going to die because of a peanut allergy. 3 of them are going to cry and bitch at their parents because you didn't feed them the right thing, and then the other kids are going to love it. Yeah. So, it's finding out what each individual plant's going to want. I would say off of just the advanced, that's your ultimate staple. That's everything your plant wants, and every plant wants it. That one runs anywhere from $400 to $600 depending in the gallon range, and depending on how often you're feeding too.
Yeah.
I got guys who feed twice a week. I've got guys who feed 6 times a week. And so it really boils down to how much are you pushing it. I can say, however, and I've done the experiments indoors, outdoors, upstairs, downstairs, whatever, but I've done it where I've figured out how to push this plant to its ultimate edge. And the nice thing about this nutrient line, because it isn't nitrate-based and it's not salt-based, you can really find the echelon of this plant's consumption rate and then back it off just a tad bit and then get a yield better than you've ever seen. It's just a matter of pushing it a little bit harder each time until you see a sign that says, whoa, that's enough. Then just back off a little bit and then maintain that for the rest of the run, and you'll be amazed on how much more you can get off of that run. And that's it. It all comes down to per user. It really does.
Yeah, because I just as my personal use, and talking from you, you know what I'm saying. My run on the veg is wonderful with just the basic, what you got there, and a few extra things for when flowering goes. But man, it's all wonderful. You know what I'm saying. And I know that each plant is different, of course, but for how it is, it's wonderful just for the basic setup.
I go to Colorado often. I consult with a few of the bigger farms there that are in under rooftop. And this one I went to, and I actually ended up pulling the nutrient line from the farm only because why is it so inconsistent? I'm like, well, how many varieties do you have in here?
Yeah.
And I find out that they have 67 varieties running underneath one schedule and feeding them all blankets the same way. And they weren't willing to dial in one variety. So,
yeah, all gonna be different. Yeah.
It's not worth the money for me to sit there and watch these guys just destroy, a whole bunch of crops when some of them were getting great results and some just weren't in because they're overfeeding them.
Yes.
So, it's a trick. It's definitely a trick.
Definitely. Now, this is your veg line. Now, would you want to talk about flowering into this one or another, or can we squeeze it out in this show, or do you want to wait for another show to talk about flowering?
Well, maybe what we'll do is we'll hit the first, the basic line with a couple of the additives. The things I find if you're going to go out and buy it tomorrow because you heard the show, I just want to talk about the 6 that are the most important. And then maybe next week or when you invite me on again, we'll kind of elaborate on all the additions.
Yeah.
If that works for you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. That's wonderful.
Right on.
I'm going to show...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, basically, when we first started up, everybody wanted to grow a bloom in a vase. And so we don't believe in a grow a bloom in a vase. And the reason for that is because the plant, we don't really know what that plant wants and when it wants it and how it's going to use it at the time it needs it. So what we do is we basically create a buffet for this plant to choose from what it wants, and whatever it doesn't want, we'll hide up in the medium and tie up to something that is currently in the medium, like a calcium or a phosphorus or a nitrogen molecule, and create a compound for the microbes to break down at a later date. So by saying that, our grow in all aspects of the word would be our Medusa's magic. It's our soil nutrient. It is has the most nitrogen in it, and it's definitely designed for grow. It's digested soybean and feather and digested bone meal. It has yeast and worm castings that have been dissolved. We use bioagonic acid, and in this product we also put this chicken liver that we digest. Tons of kelp meal, some yucca meal, a little bit of molasses to get the worm castings so when they hit your soil and the pH is adjusted, it's inoculating it with the bacteria. And so that's our grow. The nice thing with it, it's probably the only one I would never claim as organic. You can get it tested and it'll probably prove to be organic, but we do use calcium nitrate in this product. And what we do with it, the calcium nitrate, it isn't to give us the nitrogen here, it's to stabilize the chicken livers when we cook those down. And you can watch it on, I put it on Facebook and Instagram and whatever, but we take chicken livers and we actually blend them up with little tiny Cuisinart blenders. We throw them in a heat exchanger and we strip off all the vitamins, enzymes, acids, everything from it that a plant will want and a microbial field will want. Then we filter off all of the tissue and all the other stuff. But because it's already an acid, we can't stabilize it with more acid. So that's the only thing that we stabilize with the salt is the pure chicken liver, and then we add that to our ingredients to the Medusa Magic. But it is a great grow. It's very effective. It works great as a foliar. It works awesome as a soil drench. Out of 5,000 gallons, there might be 60 pounds of calcium nitrate in that. So it's without a trace. You can't find it. But, we like to be honest with people and let them know because this industry doesn't really tell the truth. So that's our grow. And then our bloom came out as Gaia. Used to be called Bioactive through Washington and Oregon. But Gaia is basically our bloom extract. And it's a soybean, it's a feather, it's a bone and worm, more humic and fulvic, and then we also put some dextrose from milk fat, seaweed, and yucca in that. The biggest difference there is that we totally adjust the ratios of how much of those ingredients go in. So they're pretty much the opposite of what Medusa is. So whatever, like feathers high in Medusa, it's almost non-existent in Gaia. Bone meal is really high in plants, if you have vegetables outdoors, anything you just want vigor and health to come back in the plant, that diet works awesome for that. Then the biggest thing was creating a catalyst, something that kind of helped promote the uptake of nutrients into the plant, something that could stimulate the stomata in the root